Yes, everybody, Russ of the West End Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Take two. No one will notice. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. It is Friday. Well done, my friends. We have done another week, and West Ham can't ruin this weekend, can we? As we play on Monday. Plenty to talk about. We've got the transfer window. We've got the academy. We've had a run in. They've got a match tonight as well. And also we've got Monday. We've got the transfer window shutting. So it's have your say Friday. So there's two ways you can come on if you want to have a chat. If you think you're hard enough, you can come on and join us live on camera with that number, with that link there. You can click that and come and have a chat. Or what you can do is call us in. You can call in with the number on the bottom below, and we can bring you in as and when. But there's lots to talk about, loads of stuff going on. Let's go through some of the comments and see what we've got coming up. As long as we don't sign Rashford, Ferguson, why injury-prone players? Well, I think on his day he's a good player. And actually, Adam from Dad's Our Pod made a really good point about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is very injury prone. Harry Kane's been in and out of injuries all his career, but I think in his prime you would take him in his prime. Now I don't think he's necessary. I think he's had obviously relatively young. It's that cruciate injury which is the worst one because there's been a lot of knee injuries, which isn't great for such a young lad already. But loan with obligation to buy, I don't mind that. I would rather than spend out 40 odd million now. Loan with obligation is it? I'd probably take that. There's a story on News Now linking us. There is Craig Dawson with Wolves apparently open for him to move. I don't want him coming back. As much as I love Craig, I think that's a chapter. If he came, I didn't mean to do that. Oh shit. Oh dear. How do I do that? No! I've got a new webcam. There we go. I think I've got to turn off. I don't know why it zoomed in, but I think with Craig, for me, the door's closed. He's a cult hero. Coming back, we might not see the same Craig Dawson. And then that, for me, is not the image I want of him. I think there's other ones. Adam Webster, I think, is a good shout. We apparently put in a bid approached Lindelof, but he very much turned our advances down. We might be saved by Chelsea of coming for Ferguson. Well, talking to a Chelsea fan the other day, they want a striker. They're not happy with the strikers they've got, and they're slightly concerned with Nicholas Jackson's long term. We'll see. Bromby over Fergie. Well, we know Pepe's not coming because he's very much out for the season with a knee injury, having scored that goal against Liverpool. He injured himself afterwards. I think it really is a case. And then I think you've just got that nagging Andre Silva, in the background. So if everything falls down, he comes in for 6 months. Not the ideal solution. But I thought it was really interesting what Potter said yesterday, saying it's easy to sign players, but it's hard to sign the right players. And for all me wanting just bodies, I want the right bodies. I don't want people who are going to come in and be disruptive. I want them to pass, Potter's sniff test or whatever. I don't know. It's not, obviously, Moyes did the MOT test, wasn't it? So for me, I want the right players, not just anyone. And we've been linked to over 65 players from non-league all the way up to Champions League players. And what was quite interesting in the press conference yesterday was Potter saying, it's me, it's not the boards, it's me. I want to get the right players in. It's not about the board. The board have been very, they've approached players. I wanted them, and da 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 da. And so there is for me, a bit of back and forth really with that. Cyril, hope you're well. I've decided to just ignore rumours and see what happens by Monday. Indeed. Zach, hope you're well. May, did you hear TalkSport? Apparently, well, according to TalkSport, have picked that up from a article in the Portuguese news publication Record, which says that West Ham, that he's in the next few hours going to be a West Ham player for around 16 million euros plus add-ons. Again, I don't know how much that is, how much of that is bollocks or not, or could be us trying to hurry Brighton along a bit in terms of the Ferguson negotiations. That's happened before as well, smoke screens and whatnot. But we'll keep an eye on that one. It certainly is head scratch. Skipper, hope you're well. Hope you're well. I've enjoyed watching our manager press conference. And what I liked about it was there was animation. He sort of said, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Ask me that question again. You're going to get the same answer." And yeah, I like that because sometimes you can just say quite stock answers. And the fact was, within the broadcast side of there was nothing about the team, but it was all about the signings, which made sense. Can't see what happening, mate, to be honest. My vibe for recent developments and press, I'm not sure we are doing any business within this window. I think if we do think it'll be late, and I think with Evan Ferguson, we always knew it was going to be at the end. Brighton, to their credit, have said, look, we're going to make a decision at the end of the transfer window, what's happening with Evan. And they have done that. And now it's clear, with Fabian Husler yesterday in the press conference sort of saying, yeah, he probably needs to get regular game time. He's not going to get that here. And so that was sort of the firing pistol in terms of the Evan Ferguson stuff. We know that there's likelihood of West Ham have more Paul. We've obviously Potter giving him his debut. But Chelsea still have a number of Brighton guys still there, the sporting director and whatnot still there. Obviously, Carl's over here now, where we paid £1.2 million for him. Where's that come out of? Plus what's happening with... Oh, actually, I've got a call. Why is it not coming through on here? Sorry, Damien. Let me try and bring Damien in. See if I can hear him. Damien?
Hi, Ross. You all right?
How you doing, man? You all right, geezer?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Obviously, keeping my eye on all the transfer stuff as I always do. Here's my thing at the moment. I just feel like sometimes I feel like, how bad it is, yeah? I was around my parents' house yesterday and I was speaking to my mum about this, yeah? And it just feels like we're always so close, but it just feels like we're never going to push to be that really, really big team. I don't mean to sound demoralizing, but it just feels like fortune's always hiding on it. It just that is honestly what it feels like with me with West Ham.
Yeah.
I've expressed this for a while now. Yeah, I honestly think we're 2-3 players away, but 2-3 quality players away. If you can keep what you have, and if you don't keep what you have, you replace them with good quality like for likes. But this is my concern, right? So I almost want to erase the Lopetegui era because it meant very little, yeah. But with Moyes, yeah, and I said this on one of your videos previously, Moyes slowly put all the pieces in place, right? So then I watched Moyes build a team. I remember watching, I may have said this on a show previously, right? I remember going to watch West Ham, Bournemouth. Now, I don't go to the London Stadium very often, but I went to West Ham, Bournemouth, right? And it was a couple of weeks before Moyes took over. Our midfield was Rice, Wilshere, and Noble, yeah? and I had a seat in the gods. And I remember thinking to myself, and if you got a seat in the gods, which I know you do,
Yeah.
right in the gods, but when you've got a seat in the gods, you can obviously see the shape of the game panning out and whatnot, right? I remember thinking to myself, if you put in another physical presence next to Rice, you are literally gaining a man advantage by putting a player further up. As soon as Moyes come in, and I remember thinking to myself, down that right hand side, we need a left footed player to be cutting inside.
Mm.
Couple of weeks of David Moyes coming in, he went and bought Thomas Soucek. He plonked him right next to Rice, and that meant he didn't need to surround Rice with bodies, and he gained another man. Basically, he gained another man to put in that front four. He then signed Bowen, put him out to the right, and then he moved Antonio up front, and it totally transformed us. Totally transformed us. And I had a feeling that by bringing in another physical centre midfielder and by bringing in a left-footed winger, it would change us to a top 10 team, basically. I was wrong. It changed us to like a top 6 team. So I honestly think, right, that I think Potter's an amazing coach. I don't want to see this Brighton model just yet. I want to see some more senior. I want to see some more proven players added to the ranks. I want to see two players who you can hang your hat on before start taking risks on players. Personally, I think the prices we're being quoted for Ferguson, you can go and get a sure thing in the summer for that kind of price, in my opinion. But the thing is, I sit there and I think, all right, he's 21. He's had a good season before.
Yeah.
But then you look at his injury record. He's not the quickest. He's a target man. He's 6 foot. 6 foot in the Premier League is not massive for a target man. I just we'll see, innit? But I just I'm not convinced. The thing is, I feel like all these managers have good qualities, but I just I'm not convinced that Ferguson is gonna give us the push we need, basically, and even less so if he isn't fit and available throughout the course of the season.
Well, that's the thing.
Players like Kudus, Paqueta, these players that we've got, which are proven entities, pretty much. They shell out every single week. So I was very, very eager for us to get business done in January, but I wouldn't if we ended the January window without spending a penny and just forged a little group to go and do what they can with Somerville, Bowen, and Tadibo coming back. I wouldn't be overly opposed to it. But then again, I'm not the manager, so I suppose the argument is if Potter wants Ferguson, then I don't know. Then you back him, innit? But
that's the thing. Yeah, you back him really. If that's who his number one target is, we can obviously, from a fan's perspective, think, oh, he's da. But he's not an idiot. We know he knows that he has, there's injury concerns there and stuff like that, but still pushing ahead with the Ferguson deal. As I said, I've said it a million times. When Potter's Brighton turned up to West Ham, the one player we were all scared of most was Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray, you weren't gonna blister pace past people. He weren't gonna, take on 3 men and put it into the top corner. But he'd always fucking score against us, always. And that's how the Potter system was set up. Now, Ferguson's an interesting character. We all want young players as well who can develop. But if Potter wants Ferguson fair enough. It's his decision. It's his head in the chopping block, isn't it? Really, I mean, that was the issue with Moyes and strikers, wasn't it? He wanted the right striker. He never got the right striker. We only had the right striker for 20 odd years. Our best strikers have been converted right wingers. So I think we'll have to wait and see what happens with Ferguson. But as you said, we've kind of got, like, as you said, with the likes of Todibo coming back, Bowen, Somerville. I mean, Bowen will be a new signing to him because he hasn't worked with Bowen yet, and Todibo as well. Plus the news that Paqueta's trial isn't going to be until the summer. So in essence, we've got Paqueta, which we thought we might not have from March. Now we've got him for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be adverse. Obviously, I'd be disappointed if we don't sign anyone. But I agree with what Potter says. We can sign players, but we've got to sign the right ones. I don't want to. I think we've got the green shoots of a really nice squad, a really tight squad. And I don't want it to fuck up by bringing the wrong person.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing. I just I want quality. I'll be honest. I do want quality. I honestly feel like this is. I don't want to. You know me. I don't like getting. Well, I go. I do get quite detailed and technical. But the way I see it, right, and I know keeper and defence, has picked up a lot of stick this season. But I am of the opinion that we've been playing without a significant outlet all season because, I'm a huge Antonio fan, but Antonio wasn't giving us 2022 Antonio, 2023 Antonio. You could see even before the significant injury, Antonio wasn't the same outlet that he was prior. And then you had Fulkrug, who it was left up to debate for managers which one they wanted to start. So there's no clear improvement there. But we still, when we played with a focal point, we were a little bit better, even if it was a relatively average focal point. But I feel like since we've had injuries to attacking players, especially, when goals go in, basically, people are very quick to point to the moment. And to be honest, when goals go in your own goal, it's very unlikely the striker's fault. It's very unlikely the left winger's fault. It's probably had to do with a lapse of concentration with a centre-back or a full-back or a goalkeeper. So I feel like I posted this on social media the other day. Players like Max Kilman. Max Kilman went from, with our fan base, he's overpriced. 3 weeks later, he's an absolute revelation. I'm glad we paid the money for him. To, what a waste of money he was. He's this, that, and the other. To a couple of good games, brilliant player again. So, and I've maintained the fact that someone like Max Kilman is, I'm happy with Max Kilman. Believe me, a 6'4", mobile, left-footed, Premier League proven, technically gifted centre-back. I'm happy. So, what do they say? Class is permanent, form is temporary.
Exactly.
But so this is my thing with our squad, right? Despite age of Fabianski, I think we've got two competent goalkeepers. Personally, I think we've got two competent goalkeepers. I think the emergence of Scholes is an absolute blessing because that left-hand side of defence was a little bit kind of, in terms of the whole left side of defence, definitely needed another body. And I remember saying to you, it wouldn't be bad if we got someone who could play left centre-back and left-back. But with Scholes, that problem seems to have kind of lessened. Yep. And you've got Emerson. I still think we've got three competent centre-backs when all fit. I know Mavropanos has picked up a bit of stick, but I still think he's a competent kind of third choice. Kilman, I have all the faith in the world in, if we're playing well and not under the cosh for 80 minutes of the 90, that he's going to be a really good player. Todibo, I have faith that if he's fit and committed, will be a really good player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think, is one of the best right backs in the league. Personally, I've been a massive fan of Wan-Bissaka for years and years, and I still think Kufal is a competent backup. Then you look across that kind of deeper lying midfield roles, right? You've got Alvarez and Souček, who we seem to bank on at the moment. I personally think you need another kind of presence in there, but a ball carrier. Then you've got that next line of attackers: Paqueta, Soler, Bowen, Somerville, Kudus. And then it's like centre forward is a very kind of vacant place in the squad at the moment.
Yeah.
So I personally think we're 2 or 3 good quality players away, and a clean bill of health and a fresh mentality away from being a really good side. And before we start taking any risks on players, I would like to see the money go towards. Okay, we've got centre forwards. We've got centre forward sorted. There's no. If anything happens to this, if this centre forward doesn't do well or is hit by injury or whatever, we weren't going to see it. I just feel like we're so close, and I feel like now's not the time to be taking risks on players. I would rather scrap it out a little bit with kind of towards the end of towards the rest of the season. Keep your money basically, because it doesn't grow on trees, and get them as shoo-ins next summer, after everyone has done all their research. Teams are less reluctant to let their best players go because they're able to plan in advance and make signings like the quality of Kudus, Paqueta, these players, Kilman, and Wan-Bissaka, players that are, no one knows, but everyone is just, there isn't question marks around. Yeah. You don't look in comment sections and see 80% of fans flagging issues. It's like, no, we expect him to come in and do well. Like, I don't know. Evan Ferguson, if you said to me next season, Evan Ferguson would be one of 2 strikers, I'd be okay with that, because he's young, and hopefully, if he's not thrown in every single week, League Cup, he's fresh enough to maintain availability. But I don't know. I would not be hanging my hat on Evan Ferguson to move us up the league. I always feel like we're very close. The way I perceive the league at the moment is there are teams like Nottingham Forest are a very, very good example now. Brighton, Brentford, Newcastle are a bit of a law to themselves, but these teams that have maintained Premier League status for long periods of time, they've now got the facilities to build these 11s, like and squads. Like they've been in the league enough time to build quality throughout, and I just think you need to be getting sure things at this stage, personally. But we'll see. I just personally feel like I personally think that I don't want. I find it abhorrent when I find it abhorrent throwing 30-40 million pounds down the drain. I don't like really comprehending it, to be honest. It doesn't sit right with me anyway, to be honest. I don't like the idea of blowing 30-40 million pound on players like Fulkrug, for example. He's played about 3 games all season. That cost us 25 million pounds.
Yeah, but that's hindsight, though, isn't it? It's like you can't buy him thinking, "Oh, we're going to buy him. He's only going to play 5 games all season." You know, he was bought as a guy who's going to come in and compete, and then you got him and Antonio, and then within the space of a week, Antonio has the car crash, and he had, that's just fortune's always hiding, isn't it? Rather than necessarily wasted money, because at the beginning of the season, that might not have been. All of my mates who are non-West Ham fans will all sort of said, Füllkrug, who knew their Bundesliga football, was like, he's a good deal. That's a good player coming in. And I was excited. But then, unfortunately, injuries. And that is literally what's happened for the last 10 years, isn't it, really? We're in a situation, we're in a situation now which we didn't plan for at the beginning of the season. We didn't think that Antonio would be out for the whole season. We didn't think Füllkrug would be out for pretty much most of the season now. We didn't think Bowen was going to fracture a foot. So if you can imagine that season, those cut of season, we had a really good, league position under Moyes. We were pretty much injury free by a 1 or 2, and that's all. That's just what's cost us. That's what cost Lopetegui's job as well. I'd say, because if he had that squad back with all those injuries, they probably would have kept him going till the summer and then got rid of him. Innit? All right, mate. I'm going to have to let you go because you've been on for more than 15 minutes and I want to give other people a chance to have a chat.
Yeah. All right, Russ.
Take care, bro.
I think we're so close. I just think we're so close.
We are.
Say it all the time. I think we're so close. Hopefully, fortune's not always hiding for a change. But, yeah, we'll see. All right, nice one, Russ.
Cheers, Keys. Cheers, man. There was Damien having a good old chat. Always nice to hear how other people are thinking. Because obviously, from what we do, we sit here and we talk. And people listen and they comment on the comments or on YouTube or whatever, or on Twitter. So this is your opportunity to talk about what you want to talk about. And I always find Damien to be very articulate. Likes to chat, but I don't mind that. Right, what we got here? We have to take into account the new injury signing that happened for ages. It is, and as I said, beginning of the season, I said a lot of my non-West Ham fans were very complimentary about us signing Nicholas Füllkrug. Who knew their Bundesliga, knew their football. They got me excited about that. And we still had Antonio, and as I said, in the space of a week, he's gone. He went to, he had a crash and was out for the rest of the season. Then there's pretty much 2 weeks later. The situation with Nicholas Füllkrug. Bowen's broken his foot. Potter hasn't had Bowen to draw upon in his match day selections yet. So it is strange. Our system's way better, and you can see it just needs the pieces. I agree. The huge problem is strength in depth, and that's been years. It has, and then we did have it. Moyes didn't utilise it, and then we went back 2 steps, really. And then, to be fair, we had, I think, at the beginning of the season, quite a decent-ish squad in terms of depth, and we were using it quite a lot, but we didn't have the right system. Now I think we've got a guy who can adapt and can play the right way for West Ham. We haven't got the depth because they're all injured. So it's just swings and roundabouts, isn't it? What we got here? Oh, yeah. Did you get that? Good. Good that people have different opinions to each other. But Pete, that's what I like. And as long as I've said this before, as long as people are respectful of each other's opinions, and I must apologise because I think Kim thought I cut her down for something for opinions, and if I did, I do apologise, but I shouldn't have if I did. But yeah, as long as people are respectful and not or nasty or want to fight you because of your opinion, I'm all for it, and that's how social media should be used. It is social. That's the first word. It's not nasty. It ain't antisocial. It's social media. Bodger, I hope you're all nice to see you, mate. Good to see you. We would be indeed afternoon. Yeah, hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and we sign someone. We have signed someone, Zach. We'll talk about that at Hammers Headlines. We've made our first signing. We made our first signing of the January transfer window. The floodgates will start opening. Let's hope. Why are we not loading? Why not loading Felix? They're keeping him, mate. My Chelsea mate thinks he's going to come good. Should be looking for the next Ferguson rather than paying over the odds. Unfortunately, we don't have a good rep with that with Guilherme. Well, again, for me, Guilherme, and I've said this before, it's our small club mentality as West Ham fans. We spend 20, 25 million on a player, we think he's ready for the first team. You look at Chelsea. Chelsea have bought how many of these young Brazilian players who, half of them never get any game time. And that was the whole point with Luis Guilherme. We had Tim Vickery, not us as sofa fans. We had an expert from South America say that he's going to be built. He's bought on potential. He's not going to be bought for now. He's going to be bought in 18 months, 2 years. And the thing was, and that was right at the beginning. Yeah, he only made like a handful of appearances for Palmeiras, I think, beforehand. And you see the types of, I think Ferguson's going to be really interesting. Now, for me, I agree. Rather than, let's look who Brighton are going to buy afterwards. Now, one of the guys they're looking to buy in the summer is Stefanos Tsimikas, a guy that we have been linked with, who's currently on loan at Nuremberg in the Bundesliga, and they're going to make that deal permanent and then sell him, basically. So they're already looking for the replacement for Evan Ferguson, in my eyes. I'd bring a girl back. Can't, unfortunately. He doesn't have a release clause, which is quite surprising to the likes of Potter and the new regime, because most people you would probably try and keep one in there just in case. And there is question marks about maybe Aged coming back in the summer, and I think he should, because I think he would be perfect for that left hand side of the back three. Aaron Cresswell is currently doing that job at the moment, but Aged is much better suited to that role. And a back three of Aged, Kilman, and Todibo, that's fucking good. With Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side, Ollie Scarles maybe on the left hand side instead of Emerson. That ain't a bad back five. Don't think we should do any deal with any obligation unless we're planning to get them in the summer. I agree. But unfortunately, Anthony, the trouble is no clubs are going to really let you loan their players unless they've got money in the bank. So same as Nice. Nice wouldn't have done a straight loan for us for Todibo. So that's the new norm, isn't it now? The new norm is loan with obligation or an option to buy. If Potter isn't able to call on the players because of injury, then surely he should be looking at getting in some. Yeah, but Helen, it's about getting the right people in. I don't want him to get a situation where we get some blokes in just for the body's sake, and they are bad apples. They don't get in. And it's all right. And as I've always said, it takes two to transfer, and it does. We can go out and say we want this player on loan, but their club have got to say, yes, you can have him. And I think the trouble is they tend to be the really good players you want, and they're the type of players that the clubs want to keep. So the thing about Evan Ferguson, they wanted a straight sale, or they want an obligation to sale. They don't want a straight loan because they might as well just keep him. Or are they going to save his money off their wage bill? It's business. Same as Pepe. Pepe was never going to come to West Ham for 25 million euros. Not when Al Nassr and Azar have just bought what's name for 80 million pounds. You got to think he's probably just as, he's just in form as someone like Duran. So they'd be looking at 30, 40, 50 million. And that's the trouble. The price, and then, as we said, do you want to put all your eggs in one basket? It's easy to say, as he said, as Potter said, and it's a great quote, signing players is easy, but signing the right players is hard. And I think we as fans assume we want that player, we're going to sign him. But, apparently 20 clubs are after Evan Ferguson. What is the Liverpool lad like? A lot of experience. Tyler Norton. We spoke about it in Rusty Room Roundup in the morning. 22. And now, he's coming to the situation now where he's not getting game time, academy player. And so he's making the decision that actually I've got to be selfish and look to maybe for a move away from Liverpool, because all I'm going to get is 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, which is the issue we're going to be having with academy players probably in the next 18 months, I think. The likes of Callum Marshall, the likes of maybe Lewis Orford, if these guys aren't getting minutes, they're going to come to a situation when they're 21, 22 and think, I've got to make a decision here. I can stay here and stay on the bench at West Ham or move on. And this is what this Tyler Morton guy's doing. Very experienced in the Championship. I think he's got over 100 appearances to his name. Will the kid from Scotland go into the 21s? I am unsure if Soler is worth 20 million. Thing is, 20 million now is an average player. Really, realistically now, 15 to 20 million quid. I think it's about 16 million, 16.5 million. Soler, that's, an average Premier League player now. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, we had Freddie Potts back as well. How much to re-sign for now? Lanzini's past it, mate. 4 now. I can see that happening, but it won't happen. He won't come back, I don't think. He's walk away. Remember Ferguson, overweight, overrated, underrated. 2 goals, isn't a goal scorer and terrible record, complete waste of time, and don't want him. I know you don't want him, but if Potter wants him, what can we say? And that's what I'm saying. If Potter wants him, Potter wants him. Maybe Gerd doesn't want to return. Why is that? Well, he didn't want to return with Lopetegui, but I think with Potter, I think he sees that as a more of a interesting. January should be out. I like that idea. Yeah, get the right player in. He's not the right player from our perspective, YouTube user. But as I said, he might be Potter's right man. And again, hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? In terms of how signings work and how signings don't work. You can only really judge if a signing's been a flop after you've signed them. Evan Ferguson, I mean, as I said, look at Harry Kane's injury record. If Harry Kane, if we'd like, just again, just going back in time, at 20 years old, someone offers us Harry Kane, and we go, his injury record. He's become one of the greatest goal scorers of all time in the modern game. And he's injury prone. Look at his injury rap sheet. It is, well, you have to keep scrolling. That's how many injuries he's had. Sully will never spend a penny in this Windows tight-fisted toe rag who leads the fans on. But I don't understand what leading the fans on would do. Because we're all reasonably savvy people. So what's the fascination with leading the fans on? That's the only thing I don't understand. I agree, he's unlikely to spend money. But unless it's the right person, unless Potter says this is the guy I want. But I don't understand why leading the fans, what that achieves. Because it makes people more angry. More chance to design Pepe Le Pew. Well, it is because he's out for the rest of the season now. Look forward to seeing her shrine when I come over. Probably sit in the plane. A couple of loans is all we need. Let's get through the summer. I agree. The fact we have 2 goalkeepers on the bench means we need players in for cover. Again, the right players. Wouldn't be the first character to sync up. What is going on? Gio didn't rate him this morning. We have Irvin. Save the money and develop Irvin. I think Irvin's more likely to probably go by the end of the. Wouldn't be surprised if he's loaned out to Championship side. Blackburn was sniffing around for him. We used to get a chance of blood in the youth in the Championship. These days are gone. Now they have to be Premier League ready. Well, again, the trouble is we don't get football now. In my opinion, is so cutthroat. As we say, as Damien said, every other week you are getting to a situation where a player's really good, or a player's really bad, or a player's really good. And it's literally flip-flopping on the game. We flip-flop as fans. And I'm all for getting the right players in the Championship. Because I think, they've cut their teeth. But then it's getting, as I said, we look at everyone we brought in the summer. For me, the 2 that have stood out in terms of signings, Kilman, Wan-Bissaka. Both Premier League ready players. Both players who have got 100 Premier League games under their belts. Maybe, 40 million for Max. It'll go a bit too expensive. To be honest, that's probably what he's 27. He's coming into his peak. Premier League experience, left-footed, English. So he's going to come with a premium. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when we bring people in. As I said, it might be if we can get loan players in, that's according to Record, the Portuguese newspaper. It says that we are basically signing him for like 16 million quid plus add-ons. Does he though? I don't know. And again, I'm just playing devil's. I just don't get the whole narrative. And people go, "Oh, he's just doing it to wind us up." Why? What business? Because that's what it comes down to. What business benefit does he get of winding people up? I don't get it. Has he retired? Yeah, back here. Wham, bam, getting Pepsi makes Shirley very good. Harry Wilson, sorry, you can spin it as much as you want. Again, you were correct about that in hindsight as well. You know, I think when he had played, you could see particularly. I mean, I know it's that half an hour against Villa under Potter, but I think he would have. You know, I genuinely believe at the beginning of the season, if he hadn't got injured, he would have been at least double figures in terms of goals. Ferguson, I've got to put the jury out. I can't, you know, as I said, yes, on paper, injury prone, but he's young. He's a big lad. You know, you got the Potter way of playing involves a target man. I prefer him over someone like While here and players like that. He's slightly smaller, slightly more wiry. We've got enough pace, and we'll wait and see, innit? We'll wait and see, innit? There's nothing, you know. In 6 months' time, we could say if we sign him, we could have said, "Yeah, dud." And that's the same with every transfer. Every transfer is a gamble. There's nothing to stop us buying Mbappe, and he breaks his leg and he's out for and he's ruined it, and he's out for a year. And then we go, "Oh, he's been a flop." It's true though, isn't it? It's like hindsight's a wonderful thing with these types of things. Would Moyes have made it if we didn't play Championship? Possibly, yeah. Why do we all keep something will sign who he? Why don't we all keep Shum? Will sign. That's what I mean, John. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Hates us since that process, mate. Remember, people, if we won a trophy again, Russ said he was. I don't think I did actually. Yeah, but how many years ago? But I just don't think so, mate. I just don't. For me, it don't make any business sense why you piss off your customers. I don't get it. Don't get it. What we got here? Breaking news: West Ham son, a 78-year-old striker would love Evan Gissan. He does. I'd love Evan Gissan, but again, there's no guarantee he would come in and hit the ground running. There's no guarantee he'll be the answer to problems. I think he would be genuinely, but it's about getting him. And the trouble is, we had people slagging people off. You know, if I was on social media and looking at West Ham fans, I'm like, I'd be fucking hell, Jesus, on the backs all the time. Potter's experience, we as fans have their opinion. You are totally right. You are totally right, Jamie. As he said, signing players is easy. Signing the right players is hard. We need the infrastructure to identify and develop players to build what Brighton have. Whatever the affiliation to clubs we can loan players to. No guarantees. You pay your money, takes chances, Kilman average. Not tight enough runs away from attackers. See, and I think he's been one of our best signings this summer. Difference in opinion. You know, I think he's the last couple of games he's been our only recognised centre half, and has done well with several. I mean, he hasn't. I don't think he's probably played in the same centre back or same defence probably more than a handful of times, maybe 2 or 3 times all season. I'd judge Kilman when he's got the left-sided or if he's playing in the middle, whatever, when they have the centre, the defence there, then I can judge him. Will be a disaster if he signs Silva. He will not be happy. We will not be happy. But then again, we're only going to sign someone if they're right for the job. By Potter. Potter's got control of this now. Potter and Carl have got control. So it's their decisions. It's what they want. Now, if Silva comes, again, opinions, he won't be great for us. But if Potter thinks he's right, then I reserve judgment. It's the Craig Dawson effect. Anyone who comes through the door, I reserve judgment on them and then see. I'm always excited when we sign players, any player, because it's a new face, it's a lift, it's someone we brought in. And then we'll judge it. Do what Michael says, get those likes in. If you are a West Ham fan, like it. If you're not a West Ham fan, don't like it. There we go. And have a little check down there to see if it's sort of a grey colour, the subscribe button. If it's not, you are not subscribed. Hit the button. Why build what Brighton has never won anything? I'd rather build what Liverpool have. There we go. Michael, I understand what you mean, but I generally don't think you can get a English 27-year-old centre half with a captain, a Premier League side with a few hundred games under his belt for less than 25, 30 million pounds now in today's game. 15 million quid. That's what we got from Wan-Bissaka. That was a bargain. We actually, and he was a squad player at Man United, really, where Kilman was first choice, and we've literally picked their best centre half out and bought him. Maybe I reckon about 10 million pounds we overpaid, but he's still going to be at least 30 million, mate. Flipping good team and culture that wins. Silva will have the best seat in the house next to Danny. Exactly, Danny. What exactly? And here's a point: if we'd signed Danny Welbeck, right? The world and its arse, it doesn't matter what you say now, the world and its arse would have been on to whoever signed him at West Ham. Fucking hell. Same as Craig Dawson, And for every poor one, there's something like that. Danny Welbeck has been exceptional for Brighton. Exceptional. And we would have turned, and I guarantee, and you can all say, "Oh, I wouldn't know, he's a good player." You'd have all turned your nose up because we all turn our nose up at Callum Wilson, we all turn our nose at Calvert-Lewin. He was sort of in the same bracket of them. Signing strike is easy. The right one hasn't been easy. Totally agree. How many times the world has been to his house? Russ, tell them fans, let do. Oh, I try. Last strikes at 20 goals. Tony Cottee. John Hartson, wasn't it? John Hartson came, wasn't it? 20. Oh, actually, I don't know. Let me check. I think it was John Hartson, my friend. The last one to get 20 goals, 20 league goals, was not in the top flight, was Sheringham and Harewood that year, wasn't it? But I'm pretty sure John Hart got 26. Where's my little Vic? He got 24 in 99, 97, 98 season. No, you're wrong. I'm wrong, Russ. It's 15 league goals. I apologise, Kemp. You got 24 goals, 6 were in the League Cup. My apologies. I bow to your supreme knowledge. We want more Wan-Bissaka material. Yeah, again, but it's finding them, innit? English tax puts the price up. I don't understand why managers don't watch the match from higher in the stands. They do. They have people who are outside. So what they have, they do that. So Potter's team, same as Lopetegui's team, split. They have half up, sit up in the press gantry. So I walk past them all, and half sit, and that's when the communication. Exactly, Steve. It's the age of players that bring in sometimes that concerns me. I'm a fan of 54. We want to get away from signing players at the end of their careers. No, I agree. Evan Ferguson, 20 odd. The problem is that we always sign strikers who assist them but never fit who's actually prolific. No, I disagree. I don't think we sign players I think we sign strikers who are good strikers, not necessarily the strikers that fit the system. Look, our two most prolific strikers or two most high-profile strikers we've signed in recent years, Haller and Scamacca, both weren't in the 4-2-3-1-4 formation, 4-4-3. Yeah, that formation we play. Haller was in the top three with Jogic and Rebic. Scamacca had Raspadori as a 10 behind him and played almost sort of like a 2 up front, but actually Scamacca would almost drop to a 10. I disagree with that. I think we never sign the right striker to fit our system. We sign strikers. Hernandez, one of the Premier League all-time goal scorers records. Absolute, did nothing when he was at West Ham. I think the trouble is we've bought strikers who are strikers and not necessarily the right ones for the right system. Which is why I said our most prolific strikers in the last 15 years have been converted right wingers. Antonio, not a striker. Arnautovic, not a striker. Bowen, not a striker. Do you know what I mean? I did notice in the press conference that no Jones had the ball to ask him why kit. Does anyone actually have a clue what an injury record is? Again, I think we assume managers and people are shit, are thick as shit. You know, they have to do their due diligence. They have to. They request injury data. They request medical data from the selling club before making a decision. They have to have a medical. You know, all this is put into consideration. They're not just signing them willy nilly, and which is why someone like Potter said it's me that's holding things up, not the board or anything. It's all on me. Russ, is the Railway Tavern still open? I haven't been there years. Don't know, mate. I don't go down that. Don't go down that neck of woods. I think it is. I think they hold like ex-player nights as well, like for vintage hammers. I think it's called. We'll wait for Potter to do his magic ups and downs all the way. Indeed. Take care. Hopefully you gently press the like button. Who do you think we should sign? I want us to sign a centre half and a forward. I don't really care who, because actually that's not my job. My job is I'd love us to shore up that defence. Again, as he said, people was here saying I don't think we should, I'm not bothered about defenders. I am. Because if my forwards know they only have to score one goal to win a game, it puts less pressure on them than they have to score 2 or 3 to get a draw. We're averaging 2 goals roughly a game, innit? We were do. So for me, I want a centre half. I want necessarily a centre half who is a good third choice. I think someone like Adam Webster would be very good for us, like Craig Dawson-esque. And I think for me, someone that, forward wise, I want a big boy up front. I just think we play better. I think that's how Potter's side is set up. But end of the day, it could, so a fit Evan Ferguson would be perfect. I think it really would. But that's my opinion. A dark injury European players at the club, especially with Evan Ferguson around 40 million. Both Scar Maka and Haller had decent seasons before they joined. But what is prolific now? You know what I mean? It's like 20 goal a season striker. Now, there's probably only about 3 or 4 of them in the Premier League. Let's look at goal scorers last year. Premier League goal scoring 23-24 season. Most goals in the Premier League. Okay. So last season, prolific. Let's go for 23-24. Only 3 players hit 20 goals last season. Haaland 27, Cole Palmer with 22, and Isaac with 21. Would I say? I mean, Bowen hit 16. Bowen was joint 9th top goal scorer. What's prolific now? And yeah, Phil Foden got 19 goals last season. What has he got? Look, same as someone like Solanke. Solanke got 19 goals for Bournemouth that season. What's he had for Spurs this season? Yes, you probably. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he ended up with 24 goals that season, didn't he? And I think the last one was, then it would have been not top flight, but would have been. I mean, Bowen got 16 last season, but after that, league would have been Sheringham and Harewood, who both got over 20, if I remember. He's prolific. We've got a prolific striker in Jared Bowen. He got 16 goals. That's what I mean. It's like it's for me. It's about someone who suits the system. I wouldn't necessarily prolific. Evan Ferguson, if he was fit and playing every game, what's he going to get? 15 goals maybe this season. Seems about right for me. Plus the assists. It's goal involvements rather than goals scored. It's the assists as well. And Bowen didn't Bowen get 16 assists and he got double figures in assists as well, didn't he? Let's have a look. Last season, what did Bowen get? But if that's the case, so there we go. I think we should get loan option to buy. I agree. I remember the backlash on Dawson, and that's what I mean. everything's now going to have a Dawson effect on me now. Haller moved on and wasn't too shabby. Indeed. And so for me, it was because he wasn't playing the right formation. He wasn't in the right system. Skarmaka, Skarmaka called 16, 17 goals of the season. We brought him in before in Serie A, which I'd say is relatively prolific. But maybe you mean prolific, a long-term proliferation. Maybe scoring 15 goals consecutive, 16, 15 plus consecutive seasons, rather than a one season wonder, maybe. It's always in the system. That's why it's a breath of fresh air. 10 and 10 in my eyes. And yeah, fair enough. Kuz was scoring for fun before he joined us. Hadn't scored many this season. He's been weird this season. I would say anyone can get a good season, score 15, who does it every season. Loads of indeed. You need a commanding bully at centre back. Taliba's good, but neither are commanding. But without the arsehole perception, I agree. We need a Craig Dawson player. And I've said I think our defence has gone to shit when we got rid of Craig Dawson. I think we underestimated the Dawson effect on that defence. And that's why, for me, someone like Adam Webster, not glamorous at all, not a signing we're going to go, oh my God, he's someone I think you can make a real difference for us. Real difference. Just that bit of, I agree, bullying, bit of that English grit, British grit. That's what we want. We want a bastard in defence. I think a striker who scores 15 prolific, not many score 29. Astonished me, West Ham never done the homework. Exactly. What we got here, have offered 17 million for Indonesian central defender. Very good. Spanky Monkey Rovers. Yeah, but again, it's like that sort of. I think he'll be good as the third choice centre half. There's not many bully boy centre halves now in the game, is there? Really, just thinking about it. I mean, Ruben Diaz, someone maybe say Gabriel could be a little bit seen like that, but not really. You don't really get any John Terry-esque type centre halves anymore now. They're sort of ball players first, defenders second. That's why, for me, someone like a Gerd coming back would be a massive boost, I think, for us in terms of our going forward. Worries me, too many fouls. Again, it's having that ability to judge the situation and not. And actually, sometimes he needs to. A bit like Mavropanos did the other day, when he was already on yellow and he that silly second yellow. Yeah. It's Benfica for less than 10. Yeah, I mean Banzuzi, Nice have inquiring about Banzuzi as well. You're going to see a lot of this now, and obviously we've been linked to so many players. As I said, I think it's 65-ish players have been linked with. You're going to get even more coming up, that's for sure. What happened to McAtee? We were linked. He was going to go to buy Leverkusen. I think that's gone a bit quiet again now, but I'm not too sure. West Ham superb, head it to diagonal crossfield passes. Rejected by Chelsea, I believe. Went to Bristol City and Brighton. Yep, agreed. Agreed to hat trick hero for my made up United. Very good. 10 million Prussian francs. Impressive. You heard it here first exclusively. Right, peeps, I'm going to have to shoot. Thank you very, very much for your time, as per usual. Love having a good old natter with you guys. Obviously, Hammer's headlines. We're going to talk about the Academy, because we won't have a chance to do the Academy show on Monday because we're playing Chelsea. So, and with that in mind, anyone who's in the Rush Green, Romford, that area, East London, get your ass. We say we love the Academy. We say, oh, we're all about the Academy. Prove it. Get your ass down to Rush Green tonight. £5 for a ticket. Under 18s are £1. Free if you bring your season ticket. Go and check out the under 21s. They're playing Stoke. I imagine Lewis will be back in the side. Probably Kalen as well. Ollie, I don't think so, because he's sort of very much now in the first team. But get your ass down there. Because it's all this chat about we love the Academy. Oh, we West Ham, the Academy. We want to see. Fucking prove it and get yourself down there. And take a picture when you're there and tag me on Twitter. I want lots of pictures of you lot at Rush Green tonight. There's no football on. We're not playing until Monday. Get your ass down there. Get your ass down there. You have to chat more. Unbelievable. Anyway, don't forget to gently caress the like button for me. Ruiz Liverpool, who, let's face it, will leave. I'll ask for. He'll go in the summer. I think, because what's the name will go. Salah will go eventually, and he'll come in at sort of what we led to believe, which is why I brought Luis Guilherme in, because he's then could fit into that role that Kudus would bring. But obviously, the fans don't give him time, because I'll be watching it live. Howard, get down there. I can't, Russ. Okay, you're excused. You got a car? Got a bus? Get your ass down there. Russ is bad cop, Anton. I want, because I think, because we get a few hundred down Rush Green, and we need to get a lot more and support these boys. Take care, guys. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith, and don't forget, get yourself out down to Rush Green tonight. Take a picture. Tweet me at DJ Russie B. Much love. Bye bye. And actually, what we'll do is anyone who does go to the game tonight and takes a picture and tweets me it, will get entered into a draw, and you'll win something nice. All right. Much love. Bye bye.